What's goody? Hey, man. So ever since the Eagles absolutely embarrassed the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, there's been a whole lot of talk about Patrick Mahomes. And I've seen some talking heads on sports, or on these sports media shows and everything like that, these sports debate shows, talking about the conversation of, is Mahomes still the best quarterback in the NFL? And I just want to how do I want to say this? Respectfully to all of these shows, because I'd love to be on one day. I'd love to be somebody debating on these shows one day. And I understand that when you got to go and you have to fill an hour and a half or an hour slate every single morning to talk about sports, there's not always going to be something riveting to talk about. The Super Bowl just happened. It was an embarrassing loss. Patrick Mahomes is the face of the NFL. It makes sense that that's a guy that you're going to talk about. Especially because he struggled in the game. It makes sense that you're going to talk about him. And I am not a person that is saying that Mahomes is above criticism or anything like that, because Mahomes did not play well in the game. Mahomes has not had two great regular seasons back to back now. But what we're not about to do is start getting used to the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and just start downplaying it just because we get used to it. Because that's one of those things that I absolutely hate. I hate the voter fatigue thing. I think that's a massive reason that Lamar Jackson didn't win MVP this year, is that voter fatigue thing. I think that's a massive reason that LeBron James only has 4 MVPs, because I think we all know there was, throughout LeBron's career, for about 15 of those 21 years of his career, he was the best player in the league. So what we're not about to do right now is we're not about to sit here and we're not about to sit here and go, oh yeah, well Patrick Mahomes, yeah, I mean he's done some great things. He just made it to the Super Bowl, just went 15-1, lost in the Super Bowl to a very good, very stacked Eagles team. And you know what I'm saying? Well, hey, he sucks now. He's not the best quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen just won the MVP. Lamar Jackson just had a great season. Those guys got it. No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't want to hear nothing about no Josh Allen, no Lamar Jackson, or no Joe Burrow. If you want to talk about somebody, you can talk about Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts is the guy that beat him. But correct me if I'm wrong. In the AFC Championship, who won? Was it Josh Allen or was it Patrick Mahomes? And don't sit here, don't do this. Don't sit here and tell me, well, Patrick Mahomes had the better team. Are we sure? Are we so confident that the Chiefs were that much better than the Bills, talent for talent? I mean, on defense, they had the best player. They had Chris Jones. Don't get me wrong. The Bills don't have anybody to that level. But we got to stop. We're not about to sit here and pretend like the name of Travis Kelce just still makes him the top tight end in the NFL, because Travis Kelce was ass in that Super Bowl, and he wasn't great for this whole season. He hasn't been great for 2 years. In fact, it might be time for the brother to hang it up. In my opinion, when I sat there, the things that I saw during that Super Bowl, I said to my girlfriend, I said, hey, he might just have to hang it up, because it didn't look like Travis Kelce to me. The man had no positive impact on the game whatsoever. So we're not about to sit here and pretend like Patrick Mahomes isn't great, pretend like Patrick Mahomes, oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes took the Chiefs to 15-1, but he had a whole bunch of help doing it. No, he didn't. Patrick Mahomes, since he's touched the ground in this league as a starter, what the man did, he immediately went to the AFC Championship, and guess who he lost to? Tom Brady. That's not a knock. He lost to Tom Brady, and the Patriots went to the Super Bowl that year. That's not a knock. And then, after that, he goes to the Super Bowl, wins it against the 49ers, goes to the AFC Championship, loses to before that, he went to the Super Bowl again, lost to Tom Brady again. Again, we're not knocking him for losing to Tom Brady. Tom Brady is undeniably the best football player to ever touch the face of this earth. If not, you don't think he's the best football player, fine. You want to say Deion, you want to say LT, you want to say whoever you want to say, fine. I don't care. He is undeniably the best quarterback. The greatest quarterback to ever touch the face of this earth is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. So we're not about to fault Patrick Mahomes for losing to that guy. And it's not like he was losing to the nigga in the first round. It's not like he was losing to the nigga in the divisional. He lost to him in an AFC Championship in a close game, and he lost to him in a Super Bowl where his O-line couldn't do anything, and he was out there trying to make Superman plays. Now, in this Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl, he did not play like Superman the way he did against the Bucs, even though they got blown out in both games. He didn't play the same way in both games, okay? Okay. But the man, ever since he came into the league, has been the epitome of success. The man isn't even 30 years old yet, and he's at the very least the third best quarterback of all time, at the very minimum. So we're not about to sit here and just start disrespecting the man's career, because the man hasn't even won 2 MVPs. Didn't he win an MVP straight out the first year as a starter in 2018, throwing 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards? Didn't the man win an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP in the same year, something that hadn't been done maybe ever, but if it had been a super long time since it had been done? I don't believe Brady ever even did that. The man not only won a Super Bowl and an MVP in the same year, but he won MVP and Super Bowl MVP in the same year. And then not only did he do that, he went back to back. And the last time a team went back to back, they didn't even make it to the Super Bowl in their third year when they were trying to three-peat. So he got closer to three-peating than any player ever has before. But we're gonna sit here and discredit him for what? What are we being disrespectful for? What I'm not a fan of is the recency bias, because the man had one bad game. But correct me if I'm wrong, Josh Allen's never beat him in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's never beat him in the playoffs. Joe Burrow's beat him once in the playoffs in an AFC championship. The man, at the very minimum, has gotten the Kansas City Chiefs to the AFC Championship every single year as a starter. The reason that guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow may never come out of this era with the Super Bowl and don't have one yet is because of Patrick Mahomes. There hasn't been another quarterback to sniff a Super Bowl in the AFC other than Joe Burrow, and he sniffed that hole one time. So the reason that guys like Lamar, the reason that guys like Tua, the reason that guys like Josh Allen, the reason that all of these guys who we think are good quarterbacks in the AFC, the guys like Justin Herbert who are in his division, all these guys who are good quarterbacks in the AFC, you got the Steelers over there, they're a pretty good team. You have all these teams in the AFC that are good, but none of these guys besides one, Joe Burrow, has even sniffed a Super Bowl field. They don't even know what it's like to wake up in the morning and think about playing for a Super Bowl because of Patrick Mahomes. So until somebody can consistently tell me that they can beat him, until this nigga goes out here and their team goes below 500 in their ass and he doesn't look good, you're not about to sit here and tell me that there's a better quarterback in the NFL. Did Lamar Jackson have a better year? Yes. Did Josh Allen have a better year? Yes. But when it came down to it, who beat who? When it came down to it, whose team went 15-1? Because while their years were statistically better and everything like that, you cannot sit here and look at the Kansas City Chiefs and tell me that they had more talent on their roster than the Baltimore Ravens did. That is why I predicted the Ravens would be the 1 seed, and I predicted they would not only go to the Super Bowl, but win it, because they had in my opinion, in the East, in the AFC, I thought they had the best roster once they added Derrick Henry. So you can't sit here and tell me that, oh, yeah, man, I mean, he lost to Lamar in week 1. I mean, Lamar lost to Patrick in week 1, and then Josh Allen beat him in the regular season, but damn, that AFC championship came, and we know what happened there. When these guys cannot beat Patrick Mahomes, there has not been a time consistently where any quarterback has been able to beat Patrick Mahomes except for Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. We cannot sit here and just start discrediting the man, because in my opinion, and in the opinion of most football fans, he's the second best quarterback of all time. If you want to put Montana in there, a guy that went 4-0 in Super Bowls, I'm not mad at you at all. But I think it's Patrick Mahomes. So we're not about to sit here and just start disrespecting the man just because he played one bad game, because he played bad in a Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, that was his 4th one. Oh, wait, that was his 5th one, because he had 3 rings already and he lost one. So that was his 5th one. He's 3-2 with Super Bowls. In Brady's first 5, what was he? 3-2. In Brady's first couple Super Bowls, was he the reason they were going, or was it that Patriots defense? Because correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. was not putting up some crazy numbers in those first couple years they went to the Super Bowl. He didn't win an MVP in his first year as a starter. He didn't go out there and throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. In fact, he never did. So we're not about to start discrediting the man. The team has gotten worse, please don't get me wrong. Travis Kelce has declined. His offensive weapons have gotten worse. They didn't run the ball once. The offensive line can't block. The right tackle might be the worst starting right tackle in football. He was the most penalized right tackle for like the last 2 years in football. And we're about to sit there and pretend like, yeah, they just have a God squad. No, they don't. The reason people hate them isn't because they have a God squad. The reason people hate them is because no matter what happens, Patrick Mahomes seems to always find a way to, if not win, have them in this scenario in the position to win. And we all know when Patrick Mahomes, and they talked about it during the broadcast, during the broadcast of like the AFC Championship, it's that fear factor. I think Brady might have even said it during the Super Bowl. I don't remember, but that's that fear factor. If Mahomes has the ball at the end of the game and there's a chance he can win it, he's going to win the game 99% of the time. There is not another quarterback in football that you can say that with as much certainty as you can with Patrick Mahomes, and I don't give a damn if it's Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, or whoever you want it to be. None of them can be as clutch as Patrick Mahomes. None of them have that same fear factor that Patrick Mahomes does. Nobody in the league right now, this second, has ever known the taste of winning as much as Patrick Mahomes. And we're going to knock him because he did what? Get to his 3rd straight Super Bowl and fell short? Had a bad game? Yes, he had a bad game. Please don't get me wrong, but we're not about to start disrespecting the man by just starting to put all these quarterbacks on a pedestal ahead of him, because when it came down to him, they didn't beat the nigga. So if you want to say somebody's better than him, you want to say Jalen Hurts is better than him because he beat him and he had a better game than him in the Super Bowl, That's at least an argument you can make, because when they faced off, Jalen Hurts won and Jalen Hurts had a better game. If that's what you want to say, cool. Is Jalen Hurts better than Mahomes? I don't think there's a soul in the world that would argue that. But if you could say it, hey, you could say it because at least he beat him. When did Josh Allen beat him in the playoffs? When did Lamar beat him in the playoffs? Joe Burrow beat him once. Stop being disrespectful to the dude just because you hate on him and you don't want to see the greatness, man. Stop being disrespectful to a dude who had one bad game. Because if we all crucified a Brady over a bad game, let's not forget, Brady didn't go undefeated in Super Bowls. Brady didn't have his best performance every single year in a Super Bowl. I remember when the Philadelphia Eagles with Nick Foles went out there and beat them boys by 20. Okay, now obviously Brady didn't look as bad in that Super Bowl as Mahomes did in this one. I get that, but you understand what I'm saying, okay? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Tomorrow you are going to be getting a video about me reviewing my 2024-2025 NFL predictions and how those predictions, how those takes age and everything like that. It should be a fun video. It's going to be an opportunity for me to look back at some of my takes and laugh, because I'm remembering a few of them and I'm thinking, damn, why did I think that? And one thing I don't remember, and I'm going to have to look when I go back and watch my video, I don't remember if I picked offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year. I'm not sure if I predicted anything for those. And I don't know why I wouldn't have, because I know I did for the NBA. I know I predicted rookie of the year, so I don't know why I wouldn't have for the NFL. But I'm going to look and I'm going to see if I did. And if not, then I'll just make sure I do it next year. But all right, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know how y'all feel about this, man, because while I'm not like necessarily a Mahomes fan, or I'm definitely not a Chiefs fan or anything like that. I'm somebody that recognizes what we need to appreciate and love. And when we're witnessing greatness, I think we need to appreciate it more. That's what they were talking about with LeBron with that Nike campaign for years. We are all witnesses. What we're witnessing with Patrick Mahomes right now is rare air. So appreciate it while you can. I get that the AFC went straight from a Brady Patriots dynasty to a Mahomes Chiefs dynasty. I get that happened. And that's tough for AFC teams. But we're not about to hate on a man just because he had one bad game and one Super Bowl, even though he's won 3 of them. All right? Okay.